But if I have to cry to keep you, I don't mind weeping if it'll keep you by my side. Ain't you proud to beg, sweet
Get on the block. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to to Madhouse TV.
You look good.
And we are Bobby Baby Walker, that's me, and my co-hostess, Rene Marie Testa. And together, we are Language of Love.
Well, I have the Language of Love Foundation and my Arm Production LLC, but you have Baby Love Music.
Right. We have two different hookups here.
Yes, but Bobby is a board member on my foundation, Rene Marie's Language of Love. And we're doing the, go ahead, Bobby.
We're doing the Language of Love Telethon on March 29th, 2015.
From 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And
hey.
Yeah, what's that? and it's on Madhouse TV. But if you just want to follow us, you can follow us on my foundation website, which is Rene Marie Language of Love .org. Rene Marie Language of Love.org.
Absolutely. And if you want to get in touch with me, if you have any kind of problems with what I'm teaching you, you can call me anytime. 914-400 or 400-5670.
Say that again, Mr. Bobby.
914.
Sing it.
400-5670.
we had a little too much iced tea for lunch. Too much sweet and low in our iced tea.
Yeah.
Although Bobby just drinks like 4 or 5 equals in his.
Well.
You're sweet.
Too much iced tea, said the diabetic, right?
But it didn't have sugar in it. It did.
You know, some of that sugar really pumps me up too. You know.
The sweet and low.
Yeah. Anyway. We want to talk about, we would want to do a little review about the last lesson we had. We were talking about building chords and the qualities of chords. And we said that, for instance, if we take the major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and put 2 notes above it. Do, for instance, in the key of C, would start middle C, then the next note would be E, and then the next note will be G on the scale. On the staff, excuse me. And then if you go up to the next note, D, right, do, re, it will be re, fa, la, right? D, F, A, okay, on the scale, on the staff. Then you go up to the next note, it will be E, G, B. And then the next note will be F, A, C, and so on until you get to C, E, G again, all right? That would be the major scale harmonized or in chords, triads, all right? There are 3 notes, so triad means 3, okay? So it's 3 notes. There are chords that have more notes, and we will be talking about those later, but right now we're talking about triads, 3 notes, all right? So the major scale would sound like this as you played on the piano. Do, mi, so, mi, do, re, fa, la, fa, re, Mi, sol, ti, sol, mi. Fa, la, do, la, fa. Sol, ti, re, ti, sol. La, do, mi, do, la. Ti, re, fa, re, ti. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. And if you want to do it backwards, do, mi, sol, mi, do, ti, re, fa, re, ti, la, do, mi, do, la, sol, ti, re, ti, sol, fa, la, do, la, fa, mi, sol, ti, sol, mi, fa, la, fa, re, do, mi, sol, mi, do.
I'm not impressed. That's
So
wonderful.
those are the chords of the major scale, all right? Now, we talked about the fact that the first chord of the major scale is major, the second chord is minor, the third chord is minor, all right? So it's major, major, minor, minor. Then the fourth chord is major, the fifth chord is major, and the sixth chord is minor, all right? So that's major, major, minor. Then the seventh chord is what they call a diminished chord, and it's built with two minor thirds on top of each other, okay? And I will show you, illustrate what that sounds like on the keyboard, all right, in a few minutes. But that is called a diminished chord. So every scale, if you build, if you put two notes above each note of the major scale, the chords are major, beginning on the one chord, major, 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 minor, minor, excuse me, right? First three chords, major, minor, minor. The second three chords is major, major, minor. So it's the opposite, right? Major, major, minor. And the last chord is diminished. And that holds true in every major chord, scale, right? I don't care what major scale that you have, that chord structure holds true, okay? And later on, we're going to, much later, we're going to talk about why that's so important, okay? All right, so the way you build, we talked about the way you build a major chord, which is a major interval, right? Interval being two notes rather than three, all right? A chord is three notes, intervals are two. So it'd be a major interval on the bottom of the chord, right? From C, for instance, to E. And then a minor interval from E to G, all right? So that's a major chord. A minor chord will be built the opposite way. A minor interval on the bottom and a major interval on the top, okay? All right, so if you practice with the scale, right? Major, minor, minor, and just look at it on a keyboard, all right? Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and diminish. The last one is diminished, all right? If you look at it on the keyboard and look at the fact that the major has a minor interval and a major interval and a minor interval. The minor chord has a minor interval and a major interval. Okay, so, and of course the diminished chord is two minor intervals. All right? Now, there are what they call prime chords in the major scale. And those chords are, I'm sure you've heard this somewhere, the 1, the 4, and the 5. Right? The 1, 4, 5. And that would sound like, you can relate them to or associate them with rock and roll chords, right? Because it's bum 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 bum, and then go back to 1, bum 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 bum. And the reason I'm using numbers instead of letter names is because every scale is the same, just built on a different note, okay? So every scale, if you do a 1 chord in C, all right, it will be built the same way in G, all right? If you start the G major scale, the 1 chord is built the same way. Major chord, interval on the bottom, minor interval on the top, etc., 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 okay? The 2 chord is built the same way, which is a minor chord, right, in the scale, and it has a minor interval on the bottom and a major interval on the top. And all minor chords are like that. All minor chords are a minor interval on the bottom, major interval on the top, all right? And vice versa for the major intervals, all right? Okay, so the prime chords are 1, 4, 5, and they are major chords, all major chords, okay? And usually the 5 chord leads back to the 1 chord, all right? So you have bum 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 bum, right? Meaning that you did the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 5 leads back to the 1. Okay, said that how many times? Okay, now rock and roll has a lot of variations, but those are the prime chords of rock and roll also, okay? Tutti frutti, all right. Da 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 da, ba 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 ba. Okay, those are prime chords for rock and roll. Anyway, now when you go to harmonize the scale, no, I can't go there. What I like to do is go into the bass scale, all right, and show you about the bass scale, because you can't harmonize anything without the bass scale. I mean, you can, but I'd like you to know the bass scale first, okay? So the bass scale has the bass clef, bass staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces, just like the treble staff, all right? Starting from bottom to top, okay, you have G, B, D, F, and A, okay? And the sentence that we use to remember what the first letter of each line is good boys do fine always, okay? Good boys do fine always. And those are the letters of the bass staff. Now, anywhere along the bottom line, which is the G line, anywhere you find the bass line, the first bass line, that will be a G, anywhere you find it, all right? The next one up will be B. Anywhere in the world that you find a second line on a bass staff or bass clef will be B, okay, etc., etc., all right? The top line will always be A anywhere you find it, okay? So the spaces are all A, C, E, G. And the sentence we use to remember it is all cows eat grass. I'm sure you remember that from your classes. All cows eat grass. All right? Okay, so.
We're going to, just so you know, we're going to go to a live commercial. I'm going to do a Language of Love commercial while you slide on over whenever you're ready.
Okay. We're going to do a
live commercial.
Live commercial.
We're going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Rene Marie. I'm the president of Language of Love Incorporated Foundation. I'm really happy to tell you that we're going to be doing a Language of Love telethon on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please look for the location on my, my website, renemarielanguageoflove.org. And once again, it's renemarielanguageoflove.org. And the show will be hosted on the Madhouse TV. It really is important for you to be aware of strokes and aphasia. Strokes is the third leading cause of death in America and the first leading cause of disability. And it really is something that plays no favoritism. And it also really comes when you're not expecting. Nobody expects to have a stroke and nobody expects to suffer from aphasia. And it really does play make a huge impact in your life and change your life in one split second. So we look forward to having everyone join us once again on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can follow us on renemarielanguageoflove.org. Once again, it's renemarielanguageoflove.org. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. And that was Rene Marie, my co-hostess, Language of Love. Okay.
I have two.
I'd like to illustrate on the piano where these notes are, okay, and what they sound like. For instance, major chord. I'm sure you've heard that, right? Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now, they call this a broken chord because I played the notes one by one. And they call this a block chord because I played them all together. All right? I'm just regressing a little bit so you can hear the sounds of the chords. All right? Second chord of the scale is the third chord of the scale is the fourth chord of the scale is the fifth is the sixth is the seventh is which leads back to the first chord an octave higher. Okay? Now, when we talk about the prime chords, that's Okay, so it's in chords, it's right? And I'm sure you can make a lot of songs with those 4 chords. 1, 4, 5, 1. Okay? Now, when we talk about connecting chords in music, right? We have the 1 chord, right? We put a whole note as the 1 chord, right? In the bass. So that's the bass C. All cows eat grass, right? Cow is C. All right, so we put a whole note on C. Then we put a whole note, make another bar and put a E, an F in the next bar, right? Put a whole note there, and then a G in the next bar, right? And then the next bar will be go back to C, all right? Now, in the treble clef, you would use, and this is the purpose of using the bass clef and the treble clef is usually when you're writing for voices, there are 4 voices. Okay, so we're going to be using 4 notes for the voices. The bass will be the C, and 3 upper notes will be C, E, G. Okay? But there's a certain way of doing it, okay? So the upper notes will be E, right? G, and C. So you have C on the bottom and E, G, C on the top. That is the first prime chord. Then the next prime chord, you take and you move the notes, the closest notes to the next chord. So E will go to F. The chord, the next chord, we said was going to be an F chord, right? So this E would move to the closest note of the F chord, which is F. All right? That will go there. Then the next note up will be a G, right? And that note would move to the A. Then we have what we call holding common chord notes. So each C chord or each 1 chord has 1 common note with the 4th chord. So we're going to keep this C, and that completes the chord. Okay? So it's Okay? All right, so anyway, they have, that's the first rule that you have to remember. Keep common notes, all right? So the 1 chord and the 4 chord shares one note, and that's the root, which is the C note, all right? Or the note of the scale, the note of the scale that you're in, okay? So if it's a G chord, I mean, if we're in the key of G, the common note between the 1 chord and the 4 chord would be G, all right? So here, we're in the key of C, so C is the common note, all right? Then the following chord, all right? Again, you have to go to the nearest note to that chord, okay? So from A, C, E, F. From this chord, we go to this chord. Excuse me. We go to this chord. F, G, 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 G. Okay, this is the G chord. Now, there's a problem with this. You cannot move a parallel from one chord to another because you create what they call parallel fifths. So, you take and you hold you go down with the G instead of going up. So the C, right? F in the bass, and then you go down with the G, and then back up to the C. All right, that's the way we're going to do each bar. All right, we said one note was going to be, the C was going to be a whole note, the F would be a whole note in another bar, the G would be a whole note in another bar, and the G, that G will go down, okay? So that we don't have a parallel motion, okay? Parallel, you have to go in opposite motion, okay, as often as possible, all right? So we go down from here, right, and back to C. That's in the bass, okay? In the treble, you have C, E, G, right? F, A, C, excuse me. F, A, C. Then the G went down, right? We're going to the key of, to the chord of G, but the bass G went down, so the other G, we will double it. I mean, that G will double, and it will go up from F. Okay? And then it'll go back to E, I mean C. Okay? I'm going to have to show you on paper because it's a little difficult to explain it this way. But bottom line is there's several rules that apply. First, common chords, common notes, excuse me, right? are shared by the 1 and the 4th chord. one note, right? That is the root of the scale, all right? The 2nd chord shares no notes. No, the 2nd chord, right, the 2nd chord shares the C. The 3rd chord doesn't share any notes, so you have to go in contrary motion, all right? You cannot go in the same direction. You have to go in the opposite direction of the bass, okay? Whatever direction the bass goes in, you have to go in the opposite direction, okay? And usually what's happening is that you're doubling certain notes in the chord, right? Right. For now, we're doubling the root. The first note of the chord, we are doubling, so that will be the 4th note in the 4-part harmony. Okay. So in this case, we doubled the F, the C, the F, and the G. All right. And the G had to go, the upper G, the treble G, had to go in contrary motion than the lower G. Okay? And then from this G, we hold this, the bottom G, the bass G comes up to C, and this G is held because G is a common note in the key, in the chord of C. So we hold the G, and we'll move the other 2 notes to the closest note of the C chord. All right, so that will come up. All right? So basically, it sounds like this. Excuse me. Here we go. Here we go. That's it. Okay? Listen to it again. Okay. Those are the prime chords of major scale of C. Contrary motion, you cannot go in the same direction with the same 3 chords. I mean, with the next 3 chords. So when I say, right? So it's that's a no-no, because only in exercises can you do that. Only for dexterity of your fingers and whatnot, because in harmony writing, these are considered parallel motion, and parallel motion is not allowed in harmony, in writing harmony. Okay, so you have to use one note to go the opposite direction, and the others to go in the opposite direction of that. Okay? So you have opposite direction. There is what they call oblique direction, okay? That's when one note stays the same and another note goes up or down to form the part of the chord. They call that oblique motion, all right? So you have similar motion, which is not good, right? Except if you have two notes. If you do it with two notes, it can work. But with three notes, it doesn't work, okay? Similar motion, oblique motion, contrary motion, and I think that's it. Okay, so that's going to end my lesson for today. And I will illustrate this on paper for you. If it's confusing to you, give me a call and I'll go over it again and explain it to you, okay? And so now I'd like to introduce my co-hostess, Rene Marie Testa, Language of Love.
Thank you, Bobby. Let's do a classic by Patsy Cline. Crazy. I'm a little crazy. I think I'm going to keep the stand here. Do something different, right? Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy. Crazy for feeling so blue. Somebody new. Worry. Why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Thank you. Mr. Bobby's gonna be singing up next.
That was great, Renee.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right, we're gonna go with the Temptations right about now. Sun shining
there's plenty of light. The new day is dawning, sunny and bright. But after I've been crying all night, sun is cold and the new day seems cold. Since I lost my baby, oh, since I lost my baby. Birds are singing and the children are playing. There's plenty of work and the bosses are paid. Not a sad word should one young heart be saying, but money is gold and the new state seems old. Since I lost my baby, oh, since I lost my baby. Next time I'll be kinder. Won't you please help me find her? Someone just remind her of this love she's left behind her. Till I find her, I'll be crying now. Every day I'm growing finer, finer, inclined to find her, inclined to find my baby. I'm looking everywhere, baby, I really, really care. Oh, determination is fading fast. Desperation seems a thing of the past. Can't see how my hope's gonna last. Good things are bad and what's happy is sad. Since I lost my baby, oh, since I lost my baby, I feel so bad. Ooh, I feel so sad. Every day there's a heartbeat. This heart is hard to carry on. Ooh, can't you see? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna happen to me.
Bobby Baby Walker. Woo!
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Great job, great job. That's awesome.
Thank you,
I
thank
love to watch you sing.
Oh, yeah.
You close your eyes and it just comes from the inside out, and you get lost in it, and life is great. Life is great. It's good.
Absolutely.
It was a great show today.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
You're great.
I just do the co-hosting this time.
Well, I love it.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our show,
Yes, it does.
and we'd like to invite you back in 2 weeks. No,
Yeah.
next week.
Well, next week I'll have my baby love music. My stroke. I'm cracking up. My stroke of luck. Bobby will not be with me. I'll have my special correspondent Joe hosting with me, but Bobby will be in our hearts, and maybe you could do a little Skyping off your phone.
Oh yeah,
You could Skype off your phone for, the
yeah.
intro. There's a way, there's a way. Don't tell your wife, though. Kathy, you're not listening, right? Kathy, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. So,
Okay, so
here we're going to blow our kisses.
absolutely.
Here we go. God bless everybody.
God bless you.